Have you ever considered why you live where you live in this world? I mean, why this town, this street, this neighborhood, this house, this apartment? Most of us tend to think about where we live in terms of things that meet our needs. Good school, affordable housing, good community services, low taxes, affordability, those kinds of things. But have you ever stopped to think that God has placed you where you live for a different reason altogether? Perhaps we live where we live not to have our needs met, but to meet the needs of the people who live around us. Every follower of Jesus ought to be a blessing to his or her neighbor, and every church ought to be a blessing to its community. God has planted us and our church in this place to make an impact for the kingdom of God. And by God's grace, we've seen that very thing happen over the years. 34 years ago, we began reaching out to our community from a nursing home in Carlisle. Then God moved us to a gym in Boiling Springs, and then finally to this place here on Petersburg Road. We've been reaching out to our community, to our coworkers, to our neighbors, and by God's grace, we've seen some amazing things happen. We've seen people come to Christ, we've seen marriages changed, we've seen lives changed, and we are excited to see what God would do next as we take this next step. As many of you know, we've been praying as a church about the most effective way to reach more people in our valley with the gospel of Jesus, to encourage more and more people to live all of life for Christ, to take what God is doing in and through the Carlisle campus and extend it to another local community. We believe launching a multi-site campus is our next step. What is multi-site? Well, a multi-site church is one church meeting in multiple locations, sharing the same vision, leadership, and budget. We want to reach people, different types of people, including those who are far from God. Having a campus in another community helps us to reach and serve more people for Christ and to encourage them to live out our vision of all of life for Christ. What would a multi-site look like? Well, our new campus will have its own live worship team, vibrant Kids Cove ministry, and a message streamed from the Carlisle campus. Now, there's a lot to do and many questions to be answered before all of this can take place. But right now, I want to ask you to do two things. Number one, pray. Pray for a location to plant our new church campus, and pray for a campus pastor to come and help us lead. And pray for our heart as a church to see others find Jesus. And number two, look. Help us look for a location. We're looking for a location within a 20-minute drive of the Carlisle campus, with seating and parking for at least 200 people, with space for a children's ministry, and close to a community. For now, that's it. Pray and look. And if you have questions or ideas about this new adventure, email multisite@cefc.church.